Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and it's another collections update video from me, Toasty Fresh. And again, it's going to be continuing from the last video and showing you just what I've been collecting on the PlayStation side of town. And without further ado, I might as well go on with the games. I've got how many games this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So really evenly split there down the middle. I did 9 on the last video, 9 on this one. So there you go. And I'll to half of my videos up, and the first one, without further ado, it's Starsky Hutch for 49p. Classic 70s cop show. And Empire Interactive made this. It's even got the voice of Huggy Bear, Antonio Vargas, doing it, and it's probably even got the theme tune, the one out, one out, one out, one out, one out, no, 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 no. Well, that's either the theme tune to that or it's 70s porn. They both sounded pretty similar. You be the judge. And there you go, it's complete as well, and in pretty neat condition. Say I only paid 49p for it, so I'm really happy with this one, even if it's not too good. I haven't paid much. But it looks like a kind of driver-esque game. You even have shooting in it as well. So it's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto slash driver game. I don't know if there's parts of the game off foot, which could be like Driver 3. Maybe, I don't know. But I suppose we'll see. Next up is Dead or Alive 2. And that was £1. And I got that because it's the first time I've seen it for a long time, where it's actually been in the original sleeve and not the platinum version, so I had to snap it up. I do already have it for the Dreamcast as well, so I got it for both consoles now. I don't think the Xbox got it. I think they got the next one, or they got a different kind of game. It wasn't this one. But yeah, this is a great little game. Impossibly bouncy breasts. That's one big thing you take from the game. I've never seen women's breasts do that in real life. But I don't think anyone would get anything done if they did. But after all that, people mention that and it takes away from the game somewhat, but it was a pretty good game and had a really good ebb and flow to it with the counter system. Button bashers that I could have a hard time winning and being a button basher because of just doing the counter system involved, and it meant that you couldn't keep spamming the same move over and over again, as you could very easily just start countering that with using the counter button, making sure you did your timing right. But a pretty great game and definitely well worth £1. If you can pick it up for £1, I'd say jump at the chance. Prince of Persia, I picked that up. That was a kind of reboot and set off, well, in fact it didn't set off a whole series of games because Blink's the Time Sweeper set that off, and I got a damn platinum CD though in there as well, which ruined the whole thing. And I've already got the trilogy, like 3-in-1 box set of this for the PlayStation 2, but I thought I'll try and get them all separate as well, just for my little collection. So, but I will probably move this one on, having the platinum disc. If I can get one that's got the original disc, I will be doing that at some point. But yeah, it kind of set off a revitalisation of the kind of platform game and new ways of doing things within a platform game. Like I said, you got to give your due to Blink's the Time Sweeper for the time rewinding effects. I think they did it before Prince of Persia. I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking that I'm right about that. It was Blink's the Time Sweeper on the Xbox that did it before them. But this was a pretty decent game nonetheless. Moving on, a game I got because from That's Entertainment, and I got it purely because I'd never seen it before. Seven Samurai 200XX, which I think that's 20,020. I think that might mean. I don't know if it's that far in the future, but it's kind of taken off the classic Samurai Tale, Seven Samurai, but in the futuristic setting in a city, and a group of samurai trying to defend a city from a corrupt kind of regime or a corrupt army. But I don't know what kind of game it'll be like. It looks like, I think there's multiple fighting, and then there's again like Shaolin Monks, the Mortal Kombat game. I think there's actually one-on-one battles as well. I'm more of a traditional fighter, so I've never played the game. I don't really know much about it. I just got it because I thought I've never seen that before in a shop in the wild around by my area, so I'm gonna pick it up. Next up is Blood Rain. I got that because I've got Blood Rain 2, so I thought I want to play the first one before I end up playing Blood Rain, and I got it complete. And this only cost me £1. And weirdly enough, they had Blood Rain 2, which I already had, and that was £8. So I don't know whether that's kind of a rarish game, because £8 in Entertainment Exchange is quite pricey. It's like one of the rarer PS2 games. But then again, the bad side of that is my Blood Rain 2 copy is, I think it's Italian on the back of it. So it's an Italian disc and instruction manual. There you go, I got that, and that's kind of like a third person kind of action with like a horror slant. But it's the usual story of a half vampire that happens to be good and is fighting the forces of evil, basically, with a female lead. So it's kind of trying to take that precedent of having a strong female lead. It was at that time, and that was kind of coming into full force with other games doing it. So yeah, but I've never really played it. I think the first game is meant to be good. The second game, not quite so good. But I suppose I'll be the judge of that myself. And another game I picked up, and this was one of those games when, I don't know if you've ever had it, but you go past a game and you keep thinking, nah, and you pass it up for other games, but you're kind of intrigued, and that's what Pirates, The Legend of the Black Cat, did for me. I kind of looked at it and thought, it's one of those weird games that you think it's either going to be a hidden gem or it's going to be absolutely terrible. But I got it because it looked interesting. It's about becoming a pirate, this female pirate. I'm guessing she's called the Black Cat. And it's kind of like Sid Meier's The Pirates, basically, but like a story-ish version. You sail a ship, you're involved in sea battles, and you do various adventures on land as well, and things like that. So it looks pretty good. Again, it's a game I don't know much about. It's complete, and it's got a lovely pink CD, DVD/DVD. Is it a DVD? Yeah, it's a DVD. So, because that other thing, there was actual CD-ROMs with the PlayStation 2 as well. Some of them are just the blue CD. They're actually CDs, not DVDs. But yeah, don't know much about it. Developed by DTS Interactive and distributed by EA. But yeah, but it just looked interesting. It was just one of those games that kind of intrigued me. I just thought, well, for £1.50, I'll have a punt on that and see what it's like. This one, I definitely know what it's like, and that's The Suffering. And this was a great little game, and I've got the instruction booklet and everything in there. This is kind of like survival horror, but like kind of action survival horror. So you're not a vulnerable guy, with a lead pipe, or someone stuck in a mansion trying to conserve ammo and things like that. I think ammo is scarce in this game, but you kind of, instead of being as much of like an everyman character like Silent Hill, you're a convicted killer and all-round badass with anger management problems. I think it's called Talk as well. He's got that one of those kind of badass names. I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Talk. So, it's God knows what is Jim Talk. He's got one of those names. So he's a badass character. But it is kind of scary as well. It's got some creepy moments to it. And you can also turn into a badass monster as well when your kind of rage meters fill up, which you can just decimate everybody with this kind of hook for a hand thing he's got, hook for an arm thing he's got. But I really like this game, and this is another one of those games I played it with, not my eldest brother. I used to play a lot of my games with, but the other brother, my other older brother, he got this and I watched him play through it. So It's a great game and definitely worth going out and getting for $1.99 if you can get it. It's definitely worth that. And carrying on, survival horror, and I got a nice little special edition, and I got a special edition of Resident Evil 4. I'm not really the biggest fan of Resident Evil, especially the latter titles, but my most fondest memories come from the first and the second one on the PS1. But I decided to get this. It would cost me £6. Set me back a few notes, but I can't resist my special editions if I see them for not too bad of a price. And it actually has the instruction booklet, and it also has the little guide that you get with it just for the beginning bit. It's like a mini guide, like a strategy guide, like you get from Piggyback or wherever. Like this one's from Future Press. And it's just like a kind of thing just to set you off on the game and give you a few tips and pointers and things like that as to what to do when you're starting out, and just a few other pointers involved. And I just like, I love anything like that that's a bit different, that's actually a collector's edition, that actually worthy of it and doesn't just have special edition written on it in a normal case. So that's why I got that. And then again, carrying on the kind of horror theme, is going on to the PlayStation 3 though, and that's Jericho, and I picked that up for, I think it was £1.50 or something like that, from Entertainment Exchange. And this is another one of those that I think was kind of underrated along with The Darkness, because there was a lot of shooters out there, a lot of this type of game. I mean, this one's a first person shooter as well, like a squad based one, kind of like Brute Force for the original Xbox, if you've ever played that, where you've got a group of people that you can switch between. It's kind of like that, but first person. Instead of being a third person shooter, it's a first person FPS. And from what I watched, I've never actually played it, but I watched someone doing a Let's Play of this years ago, and it actually looked quite good, and I actually didn't think it was that bad. And playing the demo as well, it wasn't a bad game. A bit like The Darkness, not an absolute, classic game for the ages, but worked really well, had a decent-ish storyline, and got the job done, basically. And this is the same. Sadly, I haven't got the instruction booklet, just got a creepy-looking guy there on the front cover, but yeah, by Clive Barker, the storyline to this. I can't really remember the full storyline other than they go to an abandoned city that's just emerged out of the desert, and it's filled with all these undead things, and it's a paranormal squad, like a paranormal kind of SAS kind of thing, or the Marines or whatever. But I look forward to playing that at some point. And Codemasters made it, so they always make pretty solid games, gameplay wise and things like that. At the very least, they were well, playable and good games. To use, even if they weren't the most inspiring games, all of them, they did make some really good games. But that's all from that bunch of games. I think game of the video has got to be that, because it was something a bit special, and I didn't mind the game either. I weren't the biggest fan of Resident Evil, but I could still, appreciate them for the games they were, and that they were really, it's quite a well-made game. I mean, graphics-wise, it was really good at that point. What the PS2 managed to get out of the PS2 for that. And I think that's the pick, that and The Suffering, because I have good memories of that game, good memories tied in with that one. So they're my two picks for this video. I haven't done it on the last two, so I'll have to try and keep that involved in that one. But any thoughts that you guys have on any of the games, what memories you have of them, and again, any suggestions for anything else I should buy, feel free to hit me up on that. But that's all I got time for on this video. Thanks for watching, and any interaction greatly appreciated. But it's game over from me.